I've got big news for you. A former Ripple employee meets with the team to discuss RLUSD and XRP, and he reveals the strategy behind what Ripple is trying to do. It's very revealing. And we have more states in the US looking to make Bitcoin a reserve asset. They have introduced new legislation. I'll tell you which states. And global adoption of crypto continues as Kenya is looking to legalize Bitcoin and crypto. This is big. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start with the Senate Banking Committee's Crypto Subcommittee. I told you guys about this in yesterday's podcast. Well, we have some details who will be part of that subcommittee, who are going to be the members, and it's going to be Senator Cynthia Lummis out of Wyoming, of course, Bernie Moreno out of Ohio. Remember, he just replaced Sherrod Brown, which is a huge win. Congressman Tillis, Senator Haggerty out of Tennessee, and McCormick out of Pennsylvania. So we're seeing obviously pro-crypto people who were campaigning on crypto and who have been champions of crypto. So exciting, guys. This is very bullish that you're having this subcommittee formed in the Senate. There was already a version in the House, which was started by Patrick McHenry in 2023. And now one is being set up in the Senate. And this is going to help push legislation through. See the timing here? It's very smart that they're doing this because we want to get the Fit 21 bill through the Senate. And then, of course, Donald Trump can sign it into law. So very big news. Now, check this out. Kenya is going to legalize Bitcoin and crypto. We've been talking about it for years. Every country will capitulate. Those that try to ban crypto are going to sign their economic death sentence. You probably heard me say that many times because blockchain and crypto will be the very fabric in which these economies and markets are going to run. Blockchain is going to be the rails because they're going to tokenize stocks, commodities, all the assets on the blockchain. So how can you ban the very rails, the very technology, the very layer on the internet that the financial system is going to run on? You can't. And I think a lot of this has been naysayers who have been trying to slow things down. And I think a bit of chess moves with, the whole geopolitical competition that we see with different countries. But let me read a quick excerpt from what the folks at the government are saying. So Kenya is officially preparing to legalize cryptocurrency trading in the country, including Bitcoin, according to officials. Kenya's Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mabadi, if I'm saying that right, said that the East African country is preparing legislation for crypto assets, a major shift in policy regarding the industry. Here's a quote. The emergence and growth of virtual assets and virtual asset service providers have given rise to innovations in the local and international financial system with dynamic opportunities and challenges, Mabadi said, according to the Standard, a local news outlet. According to Mabadi, Kenya's goal is to capitalize on the potential benefits associated with this industry. This will have to be done while mitigating fraud, money laundering, and terrorism financing risks that come with cryptocurrencies. But of course, that risk comes with fiat currency and any other means of exchange, even in precious metals, right? So that's pretty straightforward. This is standard operating procedure. So as I've been saying for years, they're not going to ban it. They're going to embrace it. They're going to legalize it and they're going to tax the hell out of it, right? Obviously, they're going to put the guardrails in place to protect consumers. But guys, I hope you see what's happening, and that is the move towards global adoption of this technology and asset class. You're going to see more countries in Africa do this, and in Europe and South America, you name it, they're all going to get on board. And as always, game theory is going to play out here. One country moves, one domino falls, and the rest follow, guys. How many times have we seen it, right? In specific regions and continents and even in TradFi. BlackRock makes the move, the rest of Wall Street starts running behind them. This is how things work. So it's amazing to see these things come to fruition. Now, guys, we continue to see more states in the US put forth legislation. to create Bitcoin reserves. It's amazing because on the federal level, there's a bill introduced by Cynthia Lummis. Donald Trump has endorsed it, but individual states are looking to get ahead of the federal government, it looks like. And Dennis Porter of the Satoshi Action Fund has been leading a lot of the conversations with the states and educating them. And we continue to see more states are introducing these things. So he said today, North Dakota becomes the fifth state with legislation introduced to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It already has 11 co-sponsors. Wow. He said, championed by Representative Toman, Representative Christie, and Senator Bartha, this legislation is scheduled to have a hearing next week. Incredible. He also highlighted the following. A bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve has been introduced in the state of New Hampshire by Representative Keith Amon. Guys, I'm kind of speechless. This is incredible stuff. So don't miss what's happening. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world now with fires in California, the inflation, the macro backdrop, the market has pulled back a bit and so forth. But look to the long-term macro horizon and where we're going. And all of these things will lead to higher prices. So you have to be patient. A big part of investing is being patient. That's the part that trips up retail because they want it right away. It must happen in a month. I must make $1 million in 6 months, right? This is not playing the lottery, folks. This is investing, having a strategy, dollar cost averaging in, and being patient, folks. Now, guys, Austin King. I just interviewed Austin. I published that interview a couple days ago. I'll put a link in the description. He used to work at Ripple, and he's the co-founder of Omni Network. He worked with David Schwartz at Ripple on developing the Interledger protocol. So he said the following today. Ripple recently released their new stablecoin, RLUSD. With $100 million plus in daily trading volume, many are wondering how large of an impact this will have on XRP. Yesterday, I met with the team lead to learn more about their strategy for 2025. Here's what I learned. Guys, this is very revealing. Ripple bought my first company in 2020, so I was able to spend a year inside learning about how they have driven so much success. The strategies they were focused on then for XRP, they are now doubling down on to drive adoption of RLUSD. It all comes down to one simple fact. Liquidity is a flywheel. The more trading activity an asset has, the more incentivized other exchanges will be to integrate that asset. This idea is foundational to every initiative driven by Ripple. How are they applying this concept to their RLUSD strategy? RLUSD strategy pillar 1. Become the RWA, real world token asset tokenization, liquidity hub. The incoming Trump administration positions them extremely well to onboard traditional finance companies. RLUSD will be used to establish liquidity for each of these. The foundation powering this all, XRP. And he shows a diagram here where XRP being the foundation, followed by RLUSD, and then banks, fintechs, asset issuers, and exchanges, and so forth. Now, pillar number 2, dominate DeFi. Lending, decentralized exchanges, and derivative protocols, they want RLUSD integrated deeply across all of them. Now, many of you may recall the news from earlier this week where Ripple partnered with Chainlink to help bring RLUSD to DeFi protocols on Ethereum. Austin continues saying, given that the foundation of RLUSD is the XRP ledger, this is the first time we're seeing Ripple take a multi-chain strategy. And folks, that is very bullish. You need network effects. You want to have interoperability. So that's why Ripple positioned RLUSD on Ethereum. And as you can imagine, they're going to go to other blockchains. That strategy helped USDT to get the dominance it has gotten. Obviously USDC, right? The more blockchains you can get on, the more usage and the more liquidity can flow back to your base chain, which is the XRP ledger, of course. Pillar 3, leverage existing network effects. They are going to use the same strategy that Facebook used to hyperscale Instagram. Ripple will leverage their existing network of fintechs and banks using RippleNet and XRP today as a launchpad for RLUSD adoption. Now, this is something I've told you guys about, right? That Ripple already has a network set up globally with banks and fintechs and much more. They just have to call those folks up and say, hey, we got a stable coin. We need you to use it, or we want you to use it. and it's going to be an easy sell because they already have an existing partnership with trust that has been built over time. So the pitch of RLUSD is very simple. So you can imagine a lot of Ripple's partners are going to use this stablecoin, guys, and we're seeing a big move towards stablecoin with payments and much more. So things are moving in the right direction. He said, over the coming weeks, I'll dive deeper by meeting with more of Ripple's leadership. As a co-founder of Omni Network, I see this as one of the biggest growth opportunities in 2025. And he said, follow me for more insights on Ripple's strategy and key updates before the news becomes official. So guys, as mentioned, I interviewed him and I published that interview a couple of days ago. I'll link to it in the description. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, guys. This guy's really smart. He's a developer. He's been building for a long time, and his company was acquired by Ripple. He helped build an interledger protocol. Now he's working on Omni, which is actually looking to help fix the fragmentation between the different layer twos on top of Ethereum, because there's so many of them, and Omni is looking to solve that and improve liquidity and much more. So really, really big. Now, guys, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold. Uphold is a great crypto exchange where you can buy XRP, Bitcoin, and all the top altcoins. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They also support RLUSD, where you can earn up to 5% on your RLUSD holdings. So this is a great program. They support USDC, that's Circle, RLUSD as mentioned, and PYUSD, PayPal's PYUSD. So you can earn up to 5% on those respective stablecoins. And they also support USBC, where you can earn up to 5.25%. Now, to participate in this, you need to open the app once per month, the Uphold app. You need to deposit $50 once per month and trade $50 once per month. And by participating in this, you get 24-hour early access to new tokens that they list and exclusive crypto insights. So if you'd like to learn more about Uphold, check out the link in the description. All right, guys, let's move ahead. We got some interesting news. So, Aman Simon, he was chief counsel with the SEC, and he worked for Commissioner Hester Peirce. I spoke to him a couple of times over the years when I was getting Commissioner Peirce on the podcast and so forth. Well, this is interesting. So, Senate Banking Committee hiring news. Per three folks familiar, Aman Simon is joining the panel as chief counsel from the SEC, where he worked for Commissioner Hester Peirce. And he updated his LinkedIn as well. And he will be starting a new position as chief counsel at the United States Senate Committee of Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. This is very bullish, guys. I think a lot of people recognize how bullish this is. We're seeing more people who understand crypto and that are pro-crypto being positioned in the government, right? Donald Trump has already been doing that, of course, but we are just seeing some amazing hirings and appointees, incredible stuff. And Hester Peirce tweeted out a photo with Aman and her, and thanking him and so forth. So like I said, I've had communications with him via email, I think phone call a couple of times, and I'm excited to this year is going to be so bullish with all these pro crypto people in different parts of the government. Now, guys, earlier we talked about Kenya and the global adoption of crypto. Well, check this out. Hong Kong introduces supervisory incubator to guide banks in blockchain adoption. My goodness. Like I was saying earlier, the future of the markets and the economy will be running on blockchain rails. Folks, I hope you recognize what's happening here. And once again, you have patience, because this is incredible. So a significant focus of the incubator is set to be centered around tokenized deposits. They're going to put everything on the blockchain, your fiat currencies, everything will be on the blockchain, guys. Your identity, your driver's license, your passport, voting, all of these things will be on the blockchain. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen by next year. But it's just like the adoption of the internet. Not everyone had a computer when the internet went live. Not everyone got broadband when that went live. Not everyone got a smartphone with internet connection when that went live. But over time, they all came in, right? The adoption process, the S curve, it does take time. Now, I do believe this is going to go faster because we're building on a already mature internet infrastructure versus dial-up in the 90s, right? I hope you guys understand. So it's going to go faster. It's not going to take as long, but it's not going to happen in a couple of years. It's going to probably take another 5 years, and you're going to see all these things, banks, all of them are going to be running on blockchain, guys. So Every major government in the world recognizes this. And Hong Kong, remember, is under the control of China. So China's monitoring all this. China knows about the ETFs. And guys, I have a prediction, and I wrote about it in my newsletter in Q4. I think China will open up ETF investing to crypto because it allows them to monitor and kind of keep the currency and the funds in the country. That's been a problem for them, right? But what better way than to have it in an ETF? Think about it. And it's already been successful in Hong Kong, and that's their testing ground, I think. And they're doing all these things in Hong Kong, and then I think they're going to open it up to mainland China. So big things are ahead, my friends. Now, check this out. U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is asking for feedback on new rules to protect crypto investors. Some crypto industry participants criticized the new rules proposed by the CFPB on Friday, saying it was unclear whether they would impact non-custodial service providers. Billionaire co-lead of the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk, previously said he would delete the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau founded by Elizabeth Warren. So we got to be vigilant here because Elizabeth Warren is still in government and she still has her cronies around. Now, don't get me wrong, her army has lost clearly, right? Elizabeth Warren was a big factor in why Democrats lost in the election with her anti-crypto army nonsense. But we got to be vigilant because she's fighting for the banking cartel incumbents who are getting disrupted. So you got to be careful with the sneaky regulation and rules she tries to put forth. So things like the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the industry is going to have to push back on things that do not make sense for the crypto market. Now, do they have a role to play in protecting consumers? Of course, right? We're not denying that. As always, I always highlight that with the SEC, they have a job to do to protect investors because there are bad actors. Like there's bad actors in every industry, and especially in the banking industry, right? This is why banks pay crazy amounts of fines every year because they're always doing something to screw investors and consumers over. So we have to be vigilant the same way because bad actors exist in human civilization. This is just a fact of life. So interesting here and it looks like the industry is pushing back. Now, final news item, the UK exempts crypto staking from collective investment scheme rules. So all across the globe, all these countries are trying to figure out how they want to regulate this thing. And some of it, is off the mark, right? They put forth stuff that doesn't make sense. But this is where the industry, as mentioned, has to do its work and educate and help these governments to form the right rules that make sense, that are balanced, right? You don't want to stifle innovation, but you also want to protect consumers. So the UK Treasury has amended legislation to clarify that crypto staking is exempt from the rules governing collective investment schemes. A CIS refers to any pooled investment arrangement where participants shared in the income, such as exchange-traded funds. So this is great that it's exempt. And staking is a core feature of many proof-of-stake blockchains. Obviously, you need to have regulations, right, to make sure these blockchains are doing the right thing and that they pass a certain tests of quality tests, right? We don't want to just, I'm going to go buy this token because they say they're proof-of-stake and then they're scamming you, right? We don't want that, obviously. But we need clarity here in the United States around this because, Gensler, when he's still in office, but he's going to be out soon, he was calling this a security offering, and they sued Kraken and some other folks. So staking needs clarity here in the United States, and you should be able to, earn the passive rewards and yields on via staking on the coins you own. So hopefully this year we get the clarity around it, and we can go from there. I still stake, with certain exchanges and even directly on the respective protocol via certain self-hosted wallets. I'm sure many of you do as well. But we know in certain states they have banned staking and certain exchanges have to shut off their services. So that is crazy, while other states allow it. So this is the nonsense we're dealing with here, and we need Congress to act, guys. All right, that's the news, folks. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Guys, a great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. Link will be in the description. Also, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. Buy a copy for yourself, as well as some copies for your friends and family. Help them to learn about crypto. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review on Amazon. It will help me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you all later.